Welcome to our YouTube channel. Today we'll be looking at numbers, numeration, and number bases. This is going to be a 3-part video, so please remember to watch all 3. Well, first of all, we're going to look at types of numbers. We have many types of numbers, and one of them called natural numbers. Now, natural numbers are denoted by n, and the numbers that are greater than 0. We're very used to natural numbers. Examples of natural numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. to infinity. We also have another type, whole numbers. Now, whole numbers are numbers that are greater or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0. They are just natural numbers with 0 added to it. Now, we also have one very popular type of numbers, integers. Now, integers are numbers that are greater than 0 or less than 0 or equal to 0. Wow, why do we say that equal to 0? 0 is called a neutral integer. Thus, we have all whole numbers, all negative and positive whole numbers. So let's move on to the next type of numbers. Rational numbers. Rational numbers, denoted by Q, involve all fractions. All fractions that are not irrational fractions. We'll get to that when we are talking about irrational numbers. Now, the fractions we are talking about are those of the form n over x, where x is greater than 0 and n is greater than 0. Now let's give an example of a rational number. 3 over 2 is equal to 1.5. We also have another rational number here. 1 over 3 equals to this. Now, rational numbers will either end abruptly like this, or they will continue in a repetitive pattern such as this. Now, another example of a repetitive pattern we're talking about is 7 over 11. 7 over 11 here will give us 0.636363 continuously, and that is a repetitive pattern we're talking about. That's why we can call 7 over 11 a rational number. Now let's move on to another type, the opposite of rational number, irrational numbers. Now, irrational numbers here, an example of irrational numbers is square root of 2. Another example is square root of 5. Now, what separates rational and irrational numbers is that irrational numbers, when they occur, they don't repeat themselves in any way. They just bring out random numbers as they keep dividing it, different numbers, without having any pattern to it. Let's look at pi, for example. Pi is an irrational number. It's continuous. It keeps bringing out values no matter how much you divide them. Now, there's one very important thing about irrational numbers. Most square root of numbers are actually irrational numbers. Now, let's take for example square root of 5. If you are given square root of 8, will all give us irrational numbers. But what about square root of 4, square root of 9? Now, those numbers are what we call perfect squares. So they will always give us a whole number. For example, square root of 4 will give us 2, square root of 9 will give us 3. So that's different. Now we have another type of numbers called real numbers. Now, real numbers are all decimal numbers. Include decimal numbers. All the decimal numbers we know, either positive or negative, they are called real numbers. Now, why do we call them real numbers? The reason why we call them real numbers is because we use them for measurement. So they give us real values. Now, we also have another type of numbers. There's the last one that we can pick. We call them complex numbers. But let's look at the concept of complex numbers. Let's look at square root of 4. The square root of 4 will give us 2. But we know, and we also know that 2 raised to power 2 will give us 4. But if you do the square of a negative number such as -2, it will give us a positive number. So -2 raised to the power 2 will give us 4, which is because -2 times -2 will give us +4. Negative times negative will give us +4. So now that means that the square root of 4 will either give us 2 or -2. That's what it means. And because we don't want such complications, imagine us writing square root of 9 and at the end of the answer write 3 or -3. That is going to be confusing. We will not know what to do with the equations. So we develop what we call complex number, I denoted by I. Now square root of -1 is equal to I of I raised to the power 2 equal to -1. That is the end of our first video. The next video will be looking at number bases, and to be covering JAMB and WAEC syllabus. Everything on number bases. That's what we'll be covering in our next video. Like and subscribe.